Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sisterhood Community Podcast. Today, I am here with the wonderful Charuta. We're going to be discussing all kinds of beautiful things. First, I want to just, introduce the beautiful Charuta. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Hi, Casey. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for organizing this conversation of sisterhood. Little bit about me. Like Casey said, my name is Charuta. I am a mother of two. I'm starting with that identity because I believe we're going to talk about a lot of motherhood today. Um, as a profession, I work in clinical research. And then I identify myself as someone who likes to bring meaning into everything I try to do. I don't know. I can go more or less. Like, let me know how much elaboration you need for
Oh,
anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
anything you want to share, definitely open to it. So, you're a doula. You just got
Yes.
your certification. So
Not
just
yet,
tell us.
but I'm working towards the certification.
Oh, okay, great. It's so
I got the
beautiful.
training done last fall.
Yeah, lovely. So just tell us a little bit about what made you want to go towards that work.
Absolutely. Yeah, that always I tell everybody that it feels like a calling because I feel like it is much needed. When I was pregnant with my firstborn, that's when I started learning more and more about everything natural, physiological childbirth, and I was mind blown. I was so amazed. Like, I wish I knew about this sooner. And I started noticing, like, a lot of my friends who were pregnant or even who were already mothers or who wanted to be a mother, I noticed they didn't know as much, and even myself, like I didn't know so much at the time. So the more I learned about it, the more I realized the gap that I need to fill in terms of awareness, education. It's just saddens me to know that a lot of people end up having a C-section for no medical necessity. A lot of people just like I said, need a lot more awareness about like how natural childbirth works. And it doesn't just have to be natural birth. As a doula, I support like your birth, your choice. So however a mother wants to experience the birth, I'm there for them. So with my clinical research background, I'm also here to help them find scientific, evidence-based, authentic research sources, as well as bring that doula energy in the sense like all the soft skills that are needed for it, like the emotional, physical, as well as a lot of it is a mental work. It's a lot of like mind over matter. So mental, emotional, like all sorts of like holistic support that a mother needs. And I will be working just with the mother, not for any institute. Like, so there is no bias again around like hospital policies or anything. So, um, that's what really makes me passionate about like working with and for women um, to help them get the birth experience that they want. And it's not doesn't just stop at birth. Postpartum, with my own experience, I'm noticing is where we need a lot of support, and especially from those who get it, who have been there. So that's my goal with
Mm-hmm.
the kind of
Yeah.
work. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely realized that. I feel like after my first pregnancy, how much of it is psychological because I was preparing myself for natural. I was like, I'm going to do natural no matter what. But there was still a fear there around like, I have to be in a hospital just in case something happens. And
Yeah.
I feel like as women, just because of, what we've been taught growing up, we just think that the hospital knows best and that is what we have to do because a emergency could arise where we have to save our children's life. And it is a beautiful thing that it's there. Um, but it's like, when you truly trust your body and you know that you're, like, physiologically built to birth a child, then you trust that, the child will come when it's ready because you're working together. And you also it gets deeper to where you also have to trust, like, the divine order of things and trust that whatever happens is meant to happen, which can be very hard, to get ourselves to that place. Um, but it's also a beautiful thing when you like go forth with it and you see how courageous and powerful you are as a woman. Um, it's like so incredible. So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. So I'll just say too, like with the second child I had, our son, we did a free birth outside of the medical system completely. And I think the thing that made me more confident in doing it that way was because I had a natural birth at the hospital and I got to experience the medical aspect of it, them coming in every 2 hours to check my blood pressure, not getting any rest. There wasn't a lot of, like, in my experience, nurturing. There wasn't a lot of care, like attention. It was all just medicalized. And I just wanted my experience to be much different. So yeah, we went forth with the free birth and it took a lot of mental preparing. But to know that we did that and it was possible and successful and we have a beautiful, healthy boy, I'm like just in amazement at our capability as women, man. We are
Yeah.
incredible. And yeah, many of us didn't have support. Like even, at just postpartum, especially and during, it is so important to have that support system. And doula work is incredible because you have someone that's dedicating themselves to giving you what you need and what you want, and they're willing to, and it's genuine. And especially being a woman, like we need women by our side supporting us through that process because it's very challenging when you feel like you're doing so much and you're so exhausted. And yeah, you need people. We need community. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing that, you felt called to do that because
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
absolutely necessary.
Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you for sharing your stories. Hats off to you for, I mean, I'm firstly happy for you that you got to experience those two births, and
Mhm.
it takes a lot of courage and strength that we are built with. So I'm like, thank
Mhm.
you. Yeah, hats off to you for that. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we've just been kind of like conditioned to not trust ourselves. So it just takes intentional work to build yourself up and to know like you got this. Like to literally mute out the noise of what we've been taught, what everyone else says, and just trust your heart and your intuition on what you want to do.
Yep, you said
Especially
it.
if you Yeah, especially, like, if it's your first child or your second or however many kids you decide to have, you wanna have the birth experience that you want, and there are things outside of our control, but we can make a choice, and then trust ourselves along the way to know what to do if need be. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
yeah. And it made me think too, like, um, I'm, like, going on now, but postpartum care, like, it was just me and my children's father there, like, with, a toddler and with our newborn. We didn't have a support network, so it was very hard, and I think what needs to be, like, realized in a way within society is that we cannot do it all by ourselves, even just mother and father. Like, we just have to be more open to creating that network of people. while also practicing discernment, of course. But yeah, it's so hard to do it yourself.
Yeah, and it's not supposed to be. Yeah, we are not meant to do it ourselves. And
Yeah. We had villages back, like, I don't know, like hundreds of years ago, maybe even 100
uh,
years ago. But we had people that, supported us. And it was just, I mean, much different and I feel like I just know this because the awareness around all the systems that have been put in place to disconnect us. I feel like now the more that we are connecting to ourselves as women and as men, we have a heightened awareness around the programming and things that we have been a part of. And we see the importance of connection. So I really feel like we're coming back to that space finally.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Especially as mothers, we understand the need, and what we don't get, we are trying to create, just like what you are
mhm.
doing here. Yeah.
Yeah.
The sisterhood. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, mothers, especially women together.
Uh-huh.
But I just feel like as mothers, we can really relate to everything we put into our children, we pour into them, to our families. Like, we cannot expect like our partner to be able to give us everything we need and or everything we want. That is a lot on one person. Like, we need people, more than one person in our lives that's able to reciprocate that nurturance and care to us and to our children as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Different people fill that different role, and we need them all. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially people that are more refreshed can come in and watch the kids, or, they have more energy than maybe we have in that day. And yeah, we can all really support each other in that way. So, yeah, kudos to
Yeah.
you. I'm, like, really proud of you for, like, listening to your heart and your soul with going forth with the doula work because, yeah, you're needed.
Yeah. It took me a few years to take action on that. I was like,
Yeah.
uh, meditating on it for like almost little over 2 years, and a friend had said it in the passing that I will be a great doula, and I took that to heart, and like that encouragement we all need, like coming from somebody else, kind of gives that motivation to act on it. Although like I knew in my heart that I want to do this, I will be good at this, but when someone else said it, that kind of gave me the incentive to actually consider that. And last year just felt like the perfect timing to get the training done, and I'm glad I completed that course and I'm out in the real world now.
Mhm, and then they say, like, when you're calling calls, it keeps calling until you answer, and it's so true. It, like, gets louder and louder, and it's like, the more you ignore it, it's just, like, the louder it gets and the more stuck you feel if you don't take action towards it. So,
Yeah, and something will feel like it's missing. Like, yeah.
yeah, exactly, yeah,
Yeah.
that's how you know it's soul-led, so,
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna ask you too, because you're from India, correct?
Yes, I
Yes,
grew
so
up
I
there.
wanted to ask you and, like, dive deeper into, your experience there, pretty much, like, what you witnessed with families, as well as women, like, how women are treated and cared for in India.
Yeah, so I spent 24 years of my life in India. I was born and raised there. And one thing that stands out to me about Indian culture is like there is a lot of respect for women, especially mothers, overall as a culture. There may not be like enough support for their emotional needs, but there is a big community involved all the time. Um, the challenges I can think of are, like I said, like lack of emotional validation I saw growing up. But
Mm,
a mother is always seen as a giver, um, someone who is caring for others, putting her needs behind. Like that's the impression of a mother I see. I saw and still see in Indian culture. So yeah, I admire that about my motherland.
Yeah.
Femininity, motherhood, all of that. There is a lot of reverence behind it, lot of respect, lot of love for mothers. Like even outside as a stranger, if you were to visit India, looking at you as a mother, almost all people will be there to support you. It's I have felt very safe being with my kid by myself in India because somebody or other will come to help if needed. They will like either do something so I can hold the baby or they'll hold the baby while
Mhm.
I can do what I need to do. So that is something I feel like over here it's not as much, but I really love that socio-cultural aspect in India.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, though, I lost my mother when I was very little. Um,
Mm.
but a lot of other lady figures, mother figures in my life, other ladies, my relatives, um, have tried to fill that role for me. So that's my personal experience. But overall,
Mhm.
among my friends and family, um, I just want to say there is a lot of support for motherhood.
And that's really beautiful because, yeah, I feel like, when we don't have a mother figure there, we like kind of search for that nurturance in unhealthy ways if we're not like consciously aware. And I feel like for me personally, not having my mom because she passed last year. But it's
Sorry.
also like when she was here, she couldn't be the healthy version that I needed in my life. So I feel like that's why now like trying to build that with women because I've also had to nurture myself and be a mother to myself. So I just see the importance of needing that in my life and other people and other women needing that in their life as well. Because,
Yeah.
yeah, especially as a mother, like trying to nurture your children and yourself and your partner, if you have a partner, it just it's very hard to squeeze in time for yourself. And it's taken me a really long time to get to the place where it's like I dedicate time in the rising and at night for myself. It's like a sacred space that I hold now that's like a non-negotiable because at
Uh-huh.
first it just felt kind of like let me get on my yoga mat and stretch, even if I was exhausted. But over time, I began to feel the benefit of it. And I'm like, I need this. If I don't stretch before I go to rest, I'll be tight. I won't be as relaxed. And if I don't do it when I wake up, my neck will hurt because I still breastfeed at night. So it's just, I'm feeling a lot in my body as soon as I wake up. And I feel like it's just so important if you have a job or something that you dedicate your time to wake up earlier than your children and create space for yourself so you don't just wake up and are doing things. Like we need a moment to like breathe and wind down and get ourselves like ready to wind up again. I feel like so yeah, it's really helped a lot. Um
Yeah, definitely. I also crave that me time
oh
every now and
man.
then. Like it's like as a mother of two now, like I have two under three, it's not always realistic to have that perfect me time. But just smaller pockets of quiet in the morning, like you said, or
Mhm.
choosing not to film because I have a tendency to do this and that and like not saying no to things coming my way, but recently, I'm learning that it's my choice to not to fill every free slot with social plans.
Yeah, exactly. Those 5 minutes of just laying in the bed throughout the day refresh you so much. I'm, like, in awe of, like I'll lay down and then the kid will need me and I'll pop up and I'm like, "Okay, let me get back to it." But I'm like, that 5 minutes, it helped. Um,
Yeah.
So, yeah. I
Just have
also
to be
wanted to go back.
intentional with our energy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I'll just add to that too, like, I'm learning when I get home not to clean the whole time, like, just to create memories, like, let me just create memories and not worry about cleaning. So it's just like I'll clean a little bit and then it really gets to the weekend when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do all the laundry and like get the house together for the week and yeah, just really tend to it more on the weekends so that you have
Yeah.
time to create memories and be present with your children. So important.
Yeah, something that really supports me the most is having a steady partner. So
Mhm.
my husband, sometimes I feel like he's so great at filling the role of a mother as well as a father.
Mm,
Because my toddler is super attached to her. Like she always is like, "Daddy, daddy, daddy." Like although I'm like wanting to take her with me when I go out, the baby will go with me, but she wants to be with daddy, and he
mm.
takes such great care of her. Like even though
Aw.
like just recently, I was gone for 4 hours in the evening for a festival, and by the time I came back with baby, it took me longer than expected to come back home. But by the time I was home, he gave her dinner, um, got her ready for bed, and she was in bed by 9 p.m. before even I could be here. So,
Mhm. That's great. Yeah, it helps to have that balance for sure. My children's father help out a lot too with bedtime and dinner, and I'm, like, so grateful to not have so much on my plate all the time. So, yeah, it's important. Um, I also wanted to go back to the India topic
mm-hmm,
because we
yeah.
started talking about something else naturally. Um, so as, say, a Caucasian woman going to India, would there be any type of, like, prejudice or just, like, energy of protectiveness because of my complexion arriving there?
I believe you will get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
You may or may not want it, but people gravitate. So India is a colonial country, right? Like we were ruled by the British for over 150 years.
Mhm.
With that colonial mindset, a lot of Indians have that inferiority complex where anyone who is lighter skin, white skin is kind of superior to us. That's what
Mm.
like I have seen around. And
Wow.
well, I mean, my husband is Caucasian and he has been to India with me twice so far. And it depends where you go as well, but in smaller towns or in villages where there is not as much exposure to outsiders, people will gravitate towards you. They would want to take a selfie with you, whether or not you want it. Like they will be like, treat you like a celebrity. Um,
Yeah.
so some places in India I feel super safe about as a woman. Some other places you have to be extra cautious. So always good to be connected to a local female, especially. Um, Language may be a barrier sometimes, but everybody I know, at least where I grew up in Mumbai, speaks English very fluently now. I
Mm.
I went to English school right from kindergarten. Again, thanks to the British rule. The
Mhm.
one good thing that came out of it is that everybody in India learned English. So at home, I used to speak my mother tongue. I still do. But in school or any official work, it has been English everywhere. So when Caucasian or anybody else outside of India visits India, they shouldn't have so much of a language issue as long as they are in a big town. Smaller villages, maybe not so much. Accent will be different, but
Mhm.
um, in terms of safety, I would say, yeah, just be aware of surroundings and overall, you will feel welcome. Though, like I said earlier, the socio-cultural aspect of India is that everybody is very warm. Most of them. I don't like to generalize things, but I'm sharing my experience and everything I have seen now as a non-resident Indian as well as someone who was born there. In both cases, my experience is that the social circle there is super warm. Most of the times, there is a strong sense of family and community. As a tourist, people like in any other tourist place, they may try to rip you off because you are outsider and you earn in dollars.
Mhm.
So you may feel that tension, frustration some places. Um, but overall, I highly recommend if you ever want to visit, I can give you more details or recommendations.
Yeah.
I unfortunately haven't seen as much India as I have seen the US. Growing up, I didn't get opportunities to travel, but after I moved
Mhm.
here, I traveled a lot in and around the US. So my dream now is sometime whenever it's feasible to go back to India and see more of India.
Mhm.
Um, so
I'm sure it's
yeah, I
like
haven't been to a lot of touristy places in India, but I have connections at a lot of places, so I'm more than happy to help you
oh,
when
yeah.
you choose to go. Yeah.
Yeah, I would absolutely love that. I'm so open to that, especially, you're connected to it. So, yeah, that's
Yeah.
very important, I believe.
Uh,
Um, yeah, it's interesting that you said they view us like Caucasian complexion people as like superior because it's no different than I feel like in the US and probably other areas throughout the world. That goes with programming because when you look at the history and the origin of all like of creation, it was people of a darker complexion that originated. So over time, it's been like flipped as if, people of your shade or darker um are not as valuable. And I had spoke with my partner about this too because he's very aware of a lot of this stuff. When you look at like herbal medicine and natural remedies and ways to hunt and things of that fashion, even clothing and things, we had to learn it from y'all in essence. It's wild to think of how much it's been distorted to make it out as though we are the most superior beings when we learn from y'all. And yeah, it's just wild to see how much programming we've accumulated. Even with television and music and everything, it's painted out as if a darker person is violent or evil or aggressive. And that's what has created so much division in our society because what we don't realize, what many of us haven't realized, is that we naturally have a guard up when we go around people of different shades. And it wasn't until like I was aware of like my parents and how they were around people of a darker complexion that I was able to see like how people have been painted and then unconsciously growing up, if I'm out in public and I were to see a man of a darker shade around my car, I'd like lock my door. And I'm like, wow, I know so many of us do that unconsciously because of what we've been taught. And the truth is, the people that I have met, the most authentic people that know themselves, that just speak freely, are people of a darker shade. And yeah, I'm just going on, but I had been judged
no, I
so
know
much
it's
growing.
kind of a sensitive topic, but I'm glad we brought it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I reflect that I was judged so much growing up because I was always drawn towards the boys, like even as a teenager, because I wasn't taught any better also. So I started relationships young out of like codependency emotionally. Um, but I realized why I was always drawn towards a certain crowd of boys and men and I just noticed they were more open to embrace me and more just, like, authentic and themselves, and yeah, it's just wild to see how much pain and trauma these people have endured emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. And even till this day, it's normalized and we haven't, you know, discussed it. We haven't had compassion for them or you, people of your complexion. We just kind of brushed it under the rug. And it is an important topic, especially being
Yeah.
darker women, darker mothers. There is so much in the medical field as well that
Uh-huh.
occurs that just gets hidden in the dark.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just not okay. It's not okay. So, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
beautiful
sad
that we're
truth.
coming back to
Yeah.
like the natural ways of living. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just really em- like embracing ourselves, getting to know ourselves so we can see the bigger picture and, connect with everyone. Like, because, yeah, that's the only way you learn is by connecting with people of different experiences and backgrounds so that you can have empathy and grow empathy and compassion. Because we are a society that's been taught that empathy and compassion is like something that doesn't exist, basically. Like, so, yeah, once we have it for ourselves, we can extend it to all people, I feel like.
Yep.
Um,
You're
and
so
through
right. It
connecting.
starts. Mhm.
Yeah, so
No, like you said, like a lot of people, they may not even consciously believe it, but it's like a bias that has been passed
mhm,
down over time, and many of us have internalized it without even realizing. We just absorb certain ideas about beauty, about worth, without even
mm,
like questioning it until little later in our life. And now as a mother, I want to be extra conscious of the message I
mhm,
want my children to grow up with, that the external appearance, like how we define
mm,
beauty and how what we should value, um, I don't want
mhm,
those biases to pass down to them. Like it stops here.
mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's a great topic because, like, I listen to music now, like, it'll come on the radio from, like, what I listened to growing up that my father would let me listen to, and I am mind blown at what is being said, what I wasn't aware of then. I just like the beat, but I would still sing the lyrics. And I'm like, whoa, we are literally singing that and taking that content in. And then we grow up with these patterns and behaviors that stem from what we've taken on growing up. Um, excuse me, my throat is like really dry.
No, you're fine. Yeah. I also want to add while you are having water is that about a Caucasian visiting India. For someone like me who grew up there, a lot of things there feel normal, so I may not even question it. But as an outsider visiting it, don't be surprised if you find certain things weird or something that
Yeah.
may be like chaotic. There is like, because just getting used to having crowd around, crowded spaces, community living.
Mm,
Um, you will see a lot of like disparity there. There will be like a rich five-star hotel right across from a slum.
mm,
So those contrasts exist very starkly, especially like in Mumbai, which is like the finance capital of India. People from all around India come and settle there for jobs and
mm,
yeah, it's again like in motherhood, what feels right to us may not. It's often like cultural, and everything is not as expected.
mhm.
um, so yeah, just be prepared about India
Yeah.
visit, that things you may find interesting, and unless you point it out, I may not even realize or question it, because I am just used to it as a norm. So
Yeah. That relates to the topic of like what we were speaking about too, because when you think about the division in people on the streets versus people that have money, the material aspect. The programming we've also taken on is to look down on those people, to not have compassion. We don't know their story or their experience, yet we judge and we don't lend a helping hand because why? Because we think, oh, they created those circumstances, which is like, okay, yeah, they definitely they wouldn't be there had there not been maybe, some type of circumstance that they created. But when we look at our own journey, when we actually reflect and we begin to heal through our experiences and we recognize our role in our own suffering, then we can really look at people that are on the streets and have compassion and like be like, this isn't their all be all. They just need support so that they can rise out of this more easily and see a better light in their life, like the end of the suffering. Um, they need like people need support and when you say that about India, I'm like, wow, it's no different in a way than the
Mhm.
US.
Yeah.
This happens all across the board um, because there's greed, there's like we haven't been taught compassion or empathy. I feel like the emotional aspect of being human has been pushed aside. We've been taught what to give our emotional energy to. And through television and music, it's been a relationship. It's been like, oh, you're valuable only when you have a partner. And you put all your worth, all your energy into the partner, and you don't recognize that you're valuable when you're just yourself. Like you hold innate value by being a living, breathing human with a soul on earth.
Mhm.
Like it's been so externally focused, and it really isn't until you come home to yourself that you see and feel the oneness within all people. Um, yeah, and that's really like that's the importance of doing the inner work, like
Mhm.
connecting with yourself. I'm really passionate about inner child healing because when you get to the root of your whole journey thus far, the suffering you've experienced, it all goes back to your childhood. It goes back to what you taught was what you were taught was normal. It goes back to the neglect you faced emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually that you've carried throughout your entire life thus far and that has been mirrored back in relationships, but you weren't consciously aware of it. So, yeah, when you do the healing, when you just really consciously reflect on your childhood and you place yourself as that little girl or little boy in those shoes back then, and you ask yourself, how did that feel? What did your childhood feel like? What were you receiving? What weren't you receiving? Um, And yeah, you feel it, you cry, you grieve, and you reflect on what you actually needed. Like, yes, you needed that experience. It all happened for purpose, but that child needed nurturance. It needed healthy guidance. It needed wisdom shared that would benefit them to have a healthy, thriving life. And yeah, when you face that and then you begin that journey of reflecting on your experiences thus far and crying and feeling it, then you can and you hold yourself, then you can have compassion for humanity. Man, we deeply need it. We deeply need it
Yeah.
because like it isn't until we come together and we support one another that we can like get through this, cause look at with, like, the gas prices. there are things that are rising, and to think that you have to do it all by yourself, that you don't need community, like that you don't need a garden, a community garden, or friends that have gardens that can share resources. To think that you have to pay for childcare and you cannot like build healthy connections with people that are willing and genuine and would love to care for your children and pour into them and have the time and energy to do so, like, is absurd at this point because, man, when I looked at the gas prices, I'm like, just funny, like laughingly, I'm like, man, they don't want people to go nowhere. Like, like my little Corolla that would take like $27 to fill up. I did the math. It would take $60 to fill up for the week. And I'm like, that is wild. That is absolutely wild to me.
Yeah,
So
I think
yeah,
sadly people in power, they may not empathize or they cannot empathize and they may not really think about middle
yeah.
class people. Like,
And it's not about like it the thing is, in a way, they're playing with people's emotions. I see it no different than the COVID experience, than certain things that are put on the news that they want people in a fear state and they want people to stay in survival mode because really the bigger picture is like it's an attack on consciousness. It's an attack on creating safe space for people to gain awareness. Because when you're in survival mode and you're trying to make ends meet, or you're concerned about, how you're going to pay rent or get gas or any of these things, so much energy is being focused on these things because it's necessary to have those things that it's very challenging to stop and breathe and trust that everything's okay and that you're going to get through this, and just be present with yourself and your families, and yeah, just like fully surrender and trust yourself and the divine unfolding of life, because when you focus, like, man, it's hard. Like, it's really hard when you look at what's being created. Oh,
yeah, I don't know if it's intentional. Like, I like to give benefit of doubt. I mean, this is a different topic, not about like
yeah,
people in power, but I like instead of saying like it was intentional, I like to think like it's something that is making us more aware, and we are actively trying to counter these things in our
yeah,
life. And what, like we said, what we passes down versus what stops here. Like, we are just becoming more aware and conscious in terms of parenting and
mhm,
just, yeah, like we need room to breathe and we are just,
yeah,
uh, we do what we
that's
can. Yeah.
yeah, and I feel like it's all like, everything's divine, everything's happening how it should, because without all these prices rising, without everything happening, we wouldn't be so aware of, like, how stressed out we can become and how important it is to wind down and relax. Like, and especially when you have kids, you realize, they're so present. They're not in a rush at all. Like, they just want to do what they're doing, take their time, and it reflects back in, like, how much we're rushing and how much we need to just chill out. So,
Yeah. Like, as
motherhood
a
really.
mother, we like it's they're not there for to learn from us, but we are learning so much from them as well. Like, I am
Mhm.
learning big time to not be in a rush and not be in a reactive state. Like, there is a lot
Yeah.
of inner child healing, like you said, is happening because it is like exposing things in me that need to be worked on.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, we like teach like children are the biggest teachers because they are so pure. They're like directly from source. Like I like to say, like the divine. They come through you and they're here to teach you what it is to be fully alive. They express their emotions when they feel them. They don't fight it. they feel it and they express it, and even though it's chaotic at times, um, like, they learn through us, which can be challenging, but they learn through us how to calm because we help regulate each other. So, in certain moments, I'm realizing, especially being in a classroom, I'm realizing when a child is frustrated and they're kicking and hitting, they literally need a hug. Like, they need a hug. And when I'm hugging, like, there's a particular child that when they have a moment and they start throwing stuff and it's wild and they're very strong, they reach out for us and we give them a hug and we
Uh-huh.
both relax. So in the moment when I'm feeling like, like I don't want anyone to get hurt, we hug and our bodies relax instantly. And I'm like, wow, even as adults, we need co-regulation. So that
Uh-huh.
same need that we need as children, we still need that. And we we just we've been I don't know, it's like we've gotten so far from that, and that's when I'm realizing community is important because, like, when I receive a hug from someone when I'm crying, I cry more. I'm like, "Wow." You don't realize how much that support helps you let go of these emotions, like, just being held and witnessed is so vital. And women need it, mothers need it, and men need it. Like, they also need it. Um, and that's a whole 'nother topic. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
like
and like you said, the divine or the source or God, in my spiritual tradition, we call Krishna, it is all sanctioned by God.
mhm,
So it's like we both, the kid as well as us as parents, we both are learning from each other to evolve. And it's not random. Like that particular soul is chosen for us because of that matching in karma or
yeah,
the past actions and desires that that soul
yeah,
had. So based on that, they are put into our families, so we both can help unfold those desires
yeah,
and learn from each other and evolve.
yeah, I also believe that as well, like, the karma and your soul is ready to evolve.
Yeah.
That's how I feel in my life. I'm like, "Okay, I'm ready to evolve, and this child is literally mirroring back to me how to do that." And in a way, like they are they're teaching me so much about how to regulate. And also that anger is a very vital and important emotion. But it's necessary to learn how to regulate it yourself before hurting someone else. Like, you have to learn how to navigate it and transmute it in healthy ways so that it doesn't come out in how you speak to people or how you treat them physically. Um, yeah, and that's been a process because I feel like as you heal and you see, what you've allowed in your life, like, especially like me personally, when I look at what I've allowed, like how much I've neglected myself, um, because truly it all comes back to yourself. I can say, I experienced this with someone, and yeah, I may have been traumatic. I may have been a victim to things, but it's also like I neglected myself and, you know, I did it for so long. So, like, I don't know, there's a lot of like anger that comes out random moments throughout the day that I'm learning how to transmute in healthy ways. Like, if a memory comes up and I'm facing like this pain and then there's anger, instead of like being agitated with my children, I'm having to exercise. Like, I'm having to dance. I'm having to learn how to let go of this energy and shake it out like do some somatic exercises that allow me to cry. Like, because really it's all pain. And that's the root of the anger too, is like tears that you need to let go of. Um,
Yeah.
you just, we haven't been nurtured, I feel like, properly, many of us and women, especially, and men, especially, like all of us, we haven't had someone hold us like a child, like be nurtured in that way to be able to really cry and to feel safe and held to be able to do that. Um, so I'm learning to do it for myself.
Yeah,
And
same here. Mhm.
yeah, like I literally will have to hold myself sometimes and rock back and forth and treat myself like a child to be able to cry, to have that space held. And that's why I see the importance of needing others in your life too, because to think that you have to go through this healing experience and be the mother, the father, the auntie, the uncle, the grandma to yourself while also nurturing a generation of children into this world. It's like a lot of pressure and it's just a
Yeah.
lot on our shoulders. Um, so yeah, we need that. We need the reciprocation, even simple things, man. Like I said, the garden, to have someone just give you tomatoes or something, like, how cool. Like, okay, I don't have to buy tomatoes this week. It's just like a relief of like a task. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can relate to that. Temper issues, anger issues, especially like after
Yeah.
both my kids were born, I'm noticing like I need to mother myself so much.
Mhm.
Like, I can't offer that calm energy to her if I'm myself either depleted or overstimulated. So,
Mhm.
that co regulation comes in place. And for me, spirituality is huge since last few years now. So, one practice that really helps me is chanting, which is
Mhm.
like a sacred mantra that we just repeat, and that repeated sound really helps me bring that quiet and calm energy. And it's not about religion or like any other aspect, but just that little practice of chanting really helps me show up
Mhm.
better for my kids, for myself, just for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, I have noticed too, like similarly, when I'm humming, I feel better. So, like, being in a classroom, I don't go into too many details for privacy concerns, but being in a classroom with like 14 toddlers, there are moments that can be very overwhelming. So I will like sing. I'll be like, I'll just start singing and it helps regulate my body. Because yeah, also you realize it's you don't control the environment. Like you have to have some type of control over the environment with like running, um, safety concerns, because yeah, that running is a huge safety concern in a small space. But overall, you are literally guiding the child because it's a Montessori setting. So you are guiding the child and supporting them in what they are interested in. So it's a beautiful experience. And you, at times too, you guide them towards a certain um, like task because sometimes they don't know what to do and you teach them, and then they decide if that's something they're interested in or not. But yeah, there's certain moments that I have realized where I'm trying to control too many things. Then I become stressed and I'm like, okay, let me take a breather and step back and surrender. And it's no different with motherhood. Like,
Yeah.
instead of trying to control so many things, just breathe and observe. Because what I've learned in the classroom that I've been able to take into my experience as a mother is, um, I just lost my train of thought. But like, So, not control all, but also that's what I was gonna say, is if it's not harming themselves or another, if it's not unsafe, then allow it to happen. Like, for instance, if we're painting and there's paint all over the white table, I'm learning to relax more and not be like, "Oh, I gotta put out a tablecloth and we have to wipe this up instantly." Or if my son is, like, putting paint on his clothes, I'm like, "It's okay. It's alright. I'll clean the table when I want to clean it. It's okay." Like, as mothers, relaxing and just, like, being present and just trusting that it will get done when it gets done is so important. Otherwise, we stress ourselves out trying to control everything, and we're not truly embracing the experience and our kids in its totality. Because a child doesn't care if they don't care if their hair is a mess or
No, they are laughing through it. Yeah.
they don't care. That's why we need to not take life so seriously. Like, there's a time and a place, but, like, even in the seriousness, even when we're trying to, like, pay a bill or we're stressing about something like that, we still need to create sacred space to breathe and to have fun and to just enjoy being present with ourselves and our kids because that is the true, luxury and the treasure of our life. Like, we'll be able to look back and be like, "Ah, wow." Even just laying in the yard on a blanket, like, looking at the flowers with your child or anything, that is what we will remember. We're not gonna remember this. I mean, we will, but it won't be as memorable, like, that we'll love, but, like, the stressing and the rushing and the panic in it all, we will remember those tiny pockets and then soon to be, like, huge pockets of time and energy that we have with ourselves, with our kids, with our partners, of true presence. Um,
Yeah.
man, we
Yeah,
that's
children
why.
finally are making me slow down and be more present and
Yeah.
absorb that childlike energy. Just try to be like, although, like you said, it's a messy environment, but try to laugh with them and make memories.
Mhm.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. And also what I realized is, like, we can be our child's friend too. Like, they say, you're the mom, you're the dad, like, that's who you are, like, but also when you create a friendship with them, when you, like, for instance, like, I'm learning more because my life has been very chaotic for years to, like, just have fun, like, jump on the bed with my kids, listen to music, we have dance parties sometimes, like, just be a child with them because that's inner child healing too. Many of us
Yeah.
didn't have a childlike experience as kids, so, like, to be able to have a friend too with my children, like, be friends with them and be childlike, and them laugh at my goofiness, like, it builds my confidence in being myself, and it's like this form of acceptance I haven't received. So it just opens me up more, and it allows me to unwind, and we have such a great time. Man, sometimes we don't need to worry about a bedtime because, like, if it's, like, 9 o'clock and you're having a dance party on the bed, it's so fun, man. Yeah, to be your child's friend, they will remember that too. They'll remember how you made them feel most of all, how they felt in your presence, I'll say. So when
Yeah.
you can embrace that childlike aspect, they will feel that and they'll feel more connected to you and it'll create a stronger bond. Um, yeah, we get so caught
Yeah.
in doing, making sure everything's taken care of because we have to. So, that's why we need community because, yeah,
Yeah.
it can be hard to, like, especially when you want them to go to bed. Like, there are nights I'm like, "Y'all gotta go to bed." Like, I need a moment, to myself. So just to be able to have people that can also reciprocate that childlike
Your
play with
voice
your.
has started breaking for me a little. I don't know if
Really?
it's the internet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably
Just the last couple seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. Can you hear me now? Maybe. Can you hear me?
Sorry, you're really coming in and out, like, voice is breaking still. And you're, like, freezing for microseconds.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I'm experiencing it on my end too. Um, so I was gonna end it soon anyways. So if you can hear me, can you hear me?
Yes, a
Okay.
little better, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, I'll just finish it up. That's all I was saying about just
I wonder if turning off video, would that help? Should we try that? Or
yeah. Um we can just end it here, really.
okay, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. It's been beautiful.
Yeah, no, thank you for this conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just this motherhood phase is helping me become more and more aware, and things like community, quiet time, or personal practices, like
Mm,
I'm realizing they're worth holding on to. And
mhm.
it's not about becoming perfect mother, but just a more aware mother.
Yeah. And also, I don't know if you can hear me, but this is the last thing I'm gonna say too, is when we're trying to build as mothers, to be able to have people support us in our building, to see our vision and be like, like, I support you. And to have people care for our kids, just to have that healthy balance to be able to go for everything we want to is amazing. Like to see everything we have on our plate and to have people support us in that, like, and to see the bigger picture of it all. Like, when I have this, you supported me, I support you, like, I appreciate you. There's no greed around it. It's just healthy and it's genuine and man, it's more relaxed. That's what I see
Mm-hmm.
that's being more created. And it's just such a wonderful thing. Yeah, we need that space. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, even these connections, like to be able to connect with other women like this and to get to know them and, over time build trust is beautiful because,
Mm,
yeah, the trust thing I've learned takes time, it does, and to practice discernment. Um, but it's through these like interactions and to be open to the support and community that's so important. You have to be open to it to be able to create it. That's what will create the more abundance in our lives. So, yeah,
yeah, yeah. We need
amazing.
to find ways to meet our unmet needs that are being revealed through motherhood.
Yes.
And yeah, I think it's just making us notice those things, and we don't have to fix everything at once, but
Mm,
one small way to support ourselves and others who are in the same or similar boat.
and we all relate as mothers. Like, I don't care what anyone says, we all can relate to the overwhelm, the just everything on our plate. So, and fathers
Yeah,
too, when they begin to connect and stuff as well. Um,
yeah, it's universal. Yep.
it is,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a great way to put it. But yeah, okay. Well, it was so lovely talking to you. I'm looking forward to just everything, the events and everything in the future. Yeah. We'll just go ahead and end it.
Likewise, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
been a
end it.
pleasure, and thank you for
Yeah,
organizing this
of
conversation.
course. Yeah, we can talk in the future as well, of course.
Okay, yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Take care.
Bye.
Yep. Yeah.
Have a
We'll be in
beautiful
touch.
day.
Yeah. You too. Yeah.